An innovative idea could strike you just about anywhere, in the shower, while driving, or scrolling on social media. While most people dismiss these ideas, entrepreneurs choose to act upon them. The thing is, every startup idea feels like a eureka moment. There's this tendency of fantasizing about the grandeur, money, and the lifestyle that comes with it. Of course, you want an ambitious narrative, your own success story. But here's the thing, ideas are cheap, acting on them is expensive. Throughout my career, I've had many ideas. It is astonishing how many times I've had to scrap them. Either I was too early, too late, too vague, or simply off the mark. So, as important as it is to act upon an idea, it is far, far more important to differentiate a good idea from a bad one. Also, you need to do it quickly without wasting much time. Easier said than done, isn't it? Well, you have to understand that any idea's initial vision, however strong, is largely based on assumptions or just faith. What you need instead is a vision backed by facts. Conventionally, we've used business plans for this purpose. A typical business plan includes vision and mission, problem and solution, market analysis, roadmap for 18 months, 3-year financial projections. It's a 30 to 40 page exhaustive document that is as outdated as it can get. Did you know that a study involving several entrepreneurs found that only 30% of them had written a business plan and just 2% actually enjoyed the process? As for investors and stakeholders, less than 2% ever really read the business plan. They would much rather prefer a short and attractive elevator pitch, 10-page slide deck, or a 1-page executive summary. Business plans are time-consuming, heavy, and static. You can't afford to rely on static plans when you're working under conditions of extreme uncertainty. So it seems dumb to spend weeks, if not months, and so much energy on a boring and lengthy document. Instead, what you need has to be fast, lightweight, and dynamic. One such tool is the Lean Canvas developed by Ash Maurya. The Lean Canvas is a 1-page summary of your business model design that takes just 20 minutes to make, and it actually gets read by investors and stakeholders. Moreover, the structure of the Lean Canvas allows all your learnings from the market to be easily incorporated on the go. This means as your business model evolves, the canvas adapts to it. Lean Canvas is not a new solution. In fact, it has all the building blocks of a traditional business plan. Let's go over its 9 building blocks, after which I will demonstrate how to construct it. First, we have the problem block, where you identify and articulate the problem that your customers have. Next, the solution block describes the product that the business offers to address the problem. Then we have the unique value proposition, which explains how the business solves the problem in a unique and compelling way. Followed by unfair advantage, which describes what gives the business an edge over its competitors. Customer segments are where we identify the specific group of people that the business will target with its solution. Key metrics help identify the indicators that will be used to measure the health and success of the business. Channels are all the ways in which a business can reach and acquire customers. Revenue streams include all the sources through which a business will make money. Finally, the cost structure summarizes all the expenses associated with running and managing the business. Now that we are familiar with the building blocks, I will deconstruct my idea on Lean School's workspace. I plan to cover all the building blocks in the Lean Canvas extensively and give you relevant examples along the way. I will also provide guidelines in a separate video that you should follow to make this activity effective. Let's start by declaring the vision. In my case, my vision is to create a platform where early stage entrepreneurs have all the learning and development resources they need to succeed at entrepreneurship. One of the most common reasons cited for such a low success rate is that when entrepreneurs begin their startup journey, there are so many obstacles along the way that they lose track and get disoriented. This results in what we call aimless wandering. Lean School plans to tackle this problem by providing a work environment with all the resources to transform this aimless wandering into a labyrinth. It will help entrepreneurs know when to pursue a goal, pause and recalibrate, or pivot entirely. All right, now I will sketch my Lean Canvas for Lean School, and I would encourage all of you to sketch your own idea. To access the Lean Canvas template, which contains the guide, workspace, and the power of Notion's AI, click on the link in the description below. As you can see, Lean School's workspace is divided into two parts, where you have guide on the left-hand side that provides step-by-step assistance and a workspace on the right to construct your models. As for filling the blocks, well, there's no right order for sketching your lean canvas. It's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. The right place to start is subjective, and it can vary depending on your idea. However, there is a recommended starting point for beginners, and that is what we will follow. At first, we will fill the customer segments as it is the block that drives the flow of the entire canvas. Customer segments represent all the people that will play a role in your venture. We need to establish a clear distinction here since people is a generic term. So clarifying the terminology, customers are the type of people who pay for your product. Users do not. To give you some context, let's consider social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The users here are the people who create profiles and engage with the content. The customers, on the other hand, are the businesses and brands that advertise on the platforms. With that in mind, let's write them down. For customers, I feel like everyone can be an entrepreneur and may even consider it at some point in their lives. So I'm very tempted to write down everybody. However, if you market to everyone, you reach no one. Okay, that's a bit exaggerated, but the idea is that in the early stages, you should maintain focus on a specific customer set. Keeping that in mind, my customers are entrepreneurs who can use proven frameworks to accelerate the development of their startup. Then there are accelerators who incubate startups and represent a cluster of ambitious entrepreneurs. We also have universities that teach entrepreneurship. I'm thinking maybe I can conduct guest lectures and tie up with them in some way. All right, I've established three major customer segments for my idea here. Once your customer base is fixed, you can delve into the other actors like users and influencers. Okay, so for users, we again have entrepreneurs. They can use many resources on Lean School's platform for free. If they're part of an accelerator's portfolio, then they don't have to pay as it is covered by them. For other actors, well, other actors are people who have a say or a high degree of involvement for your product. For instance, if you're building a car, you need licenses and permissions. So you can pen down the agents and official bodies and add them here. In my case, the source of my content comes from books and lectures published by renowned authors. Therefore, I seek their consent to develop my platform. Alright, that was simple. There's also something interesting that's happening here. We see that this area is surrounded by a red outline box. This is a nifty tool on Notion that links all the content inside the block to another part. So as you can see, writing inside this block fills my customer segments in the canvas. And if I make a change here, it will reflect on the canvas and vice versa. I've used such linkages across various pages to ease your workflow. Please don't remove them as such linkages are made across other pages and reduce the need to copy paste. Let's go to the next part, early adopters. Early adopters are connected to the customer segments and represent the initial set of people you will target with your product. Let's see what the guide has to say. Home in on early adopters. While you want your product or service to appeal to all customer segments, it is your first customers that will get the ball rolling. Early adopters are the first group of people to try out your product. This group can help you gather valuable feedback, improve the product, and establish a solid customer base. Additionally, early adopters tend to be influential within their social networks. So if they have a positive experience, they can help to spread the word and gain traction in a new market. Running Lean strongly tries to instill an important point for all entrepreneurs. Your objective is to define an early adopter, not a mainstream customer. Great. So with that in mind, who are my early adopters for Lean School? Well, among entrepreneurs, I feel that the ones to benefit greatly from my platform are those entrepreneurs who are in their early stages and haven't achieved a product market fit yet. So let's write that down. I'm looking for early stage active entrepreneurs, latent entrepreneurs, as in people who deep down want to start up. They could be engineers, product managers, product designers, management consultants, salesmen, university students like MBA grads and engineering schools. Let's see if it's linked to our canvas. It has. With that quick and easy kickoff, let's move further and ask ourselves, what problems are we solving for our customer segments? According to the guide, the problem box is a space for listing the specific issues that your customers currently have. Try and list the top 3 problems. As tempting as it is to consider a wide range of problems that your product or service could address, prioritize the top 3 issues your customers are most concerned with. So let's do this for Lean School. The first problem I've identified is that video lectures and books on entrepreneurship are passively absorbed and seldom applied. Let's consider the plethora of dance tutorial videos on YouTube. You could watch them all day repeatedly, but unless you get up and actually perform the moves yourself, you will not learn the choreography. The same logic can be applied to video lectures and books on starting up. Unless you actually apply those learnings, you will not be able to kickstart your business. Too many entrepreneurs carry their ideas and plan in their heads, due to which they don't systematically build, measure, and learn. Problem number 3, budding entrepreneurs receive a torrent of information and advice on the subject from influencers and experts that short circuit the brain. The sheer volume of advice out there is overwhelming, with the added challenge of not knowing which advice to follow and which to ignore. This further leads to confusion and indecision in identifying the best path or framework for starting up. Now that we have completed the problem block, let's look into existing alternatives. How do you think your early adopters are tackling their problems right now? When it comes to applications, information, and resources, we have the internet. Unless your problem is completely new and unheard of, which is highly unlikely, chances are that there are several existing solutions already. In Lean School's case, there are books on starting up, video lectures, online courses, mentor programs, universities that have entrepreneurship programs, and finally, we have accelerators. This list gives us a basic idea of the competitive market. There could be more than that. We can add that later. But this is good for the first iteration of the canvas. I think writing down the existing alternatives is the first reality check we get on our idea. Brilliant. Let's move to UVP, which is Unique Value Proposition. It is located at the dead center of the canvas. Here is when you answer one of the most important questions. What makes your product different, and why is it worth the attention? Before any money is involved, your customers first pay you with their attention. If you cannot manage that, getting even a single cent from them is just a pipe dream. Getting your UVP right is no easy feat. You have to distill your product idea down to its essence and then figure out how to express it in a few well-crafted words. These words will actually end up in the headline of your branding page. Moreover, it needs to stand out from the competition. This distinction between your product and the competitors should be of value to your customers. Sounds daunting, doesn't it? Well, don't worry about getting it perfect on your first attempt. Let it evolve with time, but don't leave it blank. You have to know what's unique about your product or service. Here are some guidelines that will assist you in its construction process. Target your customer's most important or critical problem. Focus on your early adopters. Many marketers try to target mainstream customers by finding a middle segment, but this only dilutes the essence of your product. Instead, focus on your niche group or early adopters by delivering them the best solution. Keep outcomes at the center. Go beyond communicating the benefits. Think about the customer's desired outcome. What do they hope to achieve by using your product? For example, the feature of the new iPhone could be XMAH battery. The benefit is 20 hours of battery life, but the desired outcome is all-day battery life. Finally, a UVP answers the 3 main questions: what, who, and why. Your primary headline should tackle the what and who perfectly. The why is usually tricky, and therefore it can come as a subheadline or a tag. For example, the headline for Lean Canvas is present your business idea in a brief and clear manner to key stakeholders. Subheadline is, unlike the exhaustively long business plans, Lean Canvas creates a one-page business model that is ready in 20 minutes and actually gets read. That was a lot of info on UVP. If you ever get stuck, just use the guide. For Lean School, our UVP is succeed at entrepreneurship with training that sticks and model an irresistible product that your customers or stakeholders or investors cannot refuse, which can be rewritten as model an irresistible product that no one can refuse. There's one more important thing I would like to tell you all. When you're framing your UVP, try to keep it short and simple. Most ad platforms also limit their primary headline to a tight 120 characters. Let's move to the next block, which is high concept pitch. This technique is used a lot in Hollywood. The producers try to encapsulate the whole plot of the film usually with a known reference. For example, the 1986 film's Aliens is Jaws in space. Similarly, YouTube is Flickr for video. Don't confuse the high concept pitch for the UVP tagline. Unlike the latter, the pitch does not end up on your landing page. A high concept pitch will help spear your idea quickly in a casual setting. Just use a familiar reference. So, my high concept pitch for Lean School will be something like startup school lectures plus workbook on Notion. Finally, we arrive at the solution block. Here, we outline the simplest possible solution to address the top three problems. Remember, the canvas is the first snapshot of your idea. Your solution can take a 180-degree turn after just a few customer interviews. For this reason, it is best not to get too attached to your solution. So let me fill in the solution block for Lean School. Step-by-step learning and development track where we combine video lectures with a workspace to help entrepreneurs build a juggernaut startup. I think the word juggernaut makes sense here. It's such a cool word. Juggernaut typically means an overwhelming and disruptive force. The next block is channels where we identify all the ways to reach the customers. One of the primary reasons most startups fail is their struggle in creating a clear path for their customers. So take advantage of any and all channels that get you an audience with your potential customers. The process of customer discovery will ensure an early connection with them. If your startup sustenance depends heavily on a large customer base, establishing a connection with customers early is a must. Think about your scalable channels from the get-go. Test them early and know what works. You can then use the knowledge to decide which channel would be useful at what stage. Let us look at how I would choose the channels for Lean School. I can use LinkedIn and AngelList to connect and message startup founders. I can mentor people on mentoring platforms like Growth Mentor. I can publish my lectures on marketplaces like Udemy and Coursera. I can reach out to universities for guest lectures. I can find a community that follows the Lean series and reach out to them. I can go to startup offline events. I can partner with accelerators. I can reach out to investment firms and partner with them to help startups in their portfolio. I can use social media marketing on Instagram. I can DM my existing network on WhatsApp. Next up is revenue, which is about penning down how we're going to make money from our venture. For Lean School, we plan to monetize by selling courses. I'm thinking of $25 per course, which is a one-time cost. This pricing could change, but it's what I have in mind right now. I've created the workspace on Notion. I'm thinking of charging an average of $9 per template. This is also a one-time cost. I'm going to add club membership as well, where we can think about creating a community and charge a nominal amount for membership. The club could have its own unique benefits that are exclusive to its members. Then there is sponsorships. We can make money via ads by sponsoring brands once we have achieved a degree of influence. We can also make money with affiliate partnerships where we help startups with company setup, development, and fundraising. That's all for now. We're done. There are a few important things I wish to point out here. Getting paid is the first form of validation, and it is a strong indication of the validity of your product. It can provide valuable insights that help guide the development of your business. It will also allow you to estimate your financial projections accurately and help investors understand the potential profitability of your concept. So remember this, the only thing that separates a business from a hobby is revenue. Think about pricing from day one. A majority of startups leave the pricing of their product for a later stage. They do this for reducing friction in customer signups, for acquiring lots of users, for fear of early customer churn. However, this strategy isn't recommended. The point of any business venture is to make money. You should attempt to test your pricing strategy as early as possible so that you don't get stuck on it later. Price is a part of the product. Imagine I give you two bottles of wine and I tell you that one costs $10 and the other $100. Even if you couldn't differentiate between them in a blind taste test, you will wonder if the costlier one is of better quality. Price can change the overall perception of your product or service. Price determines the type of customer profile you'll be dealing with. Clearly, there's an existing market for both price points of wine. However, the type of customers you target and deal with will change depending on how you price it. Your pricing strategy reflects the market segment you are targeting. Now, with the revenue streams in place, the next block is the cost structure. With cost structure, you need to determine how much it would cost to build your product as well as keep your business running. So, unlike traditional financial planning that makes you plan for 2 to 5 years forecast, it might be beneficial to think in stages. Let's have stage based costing, say about 3 to 6 months. Make a cost sheet for defining, building, and launching your minimum viable product or MVP. How much would your MVP cost right up to launch?
For Lean School, my initial expenditure to launch the MVP would be to create video lectures, develop the workspace on Notion, and the distribution of my platform. So here's a list. To create video lectures, I need equipment like lights, mic, camera, laptop, and editing software. To create the workspace, I need Notion's Pro version. For distribution, I'll need LinkedIn Premium, Webflow's Pro version. For general work, I'll need ChatGPT and Google's Workspace. To help me with my work, I'll need a content writer, YouTube editor, a digital marketer, and a designer. All right, that's a good starting list. The idea is that you capture what you have in mind. The cost structure will change as you progress in your startup journey. I just want to add a disclaimer that the above cost structure doesn't represent my actual cost. It's only to give you a demonstration of how to use the table. Now, you can also plug a Google Sheet here, but I prefer to use Notion's native table for 2 reasons. Aesthetically, it looks better and has a more native experience. Second, I can summon this database anywhere later by just clicking on slash and writing table. I get the table view. I search by the table name, and by doing that, I have my table wherever I want.
Moving on, let's talk about key metrics. This is a bit tricky, but I believe the guide will be able to help us. There are certain key metrics that are useful for evaluating the performance and health of a business. By monitoring these numbers, you can track your progress, get invaluable insights, and identify areas of your business model that need attention. To identify your key metrics, follow these steps. List 3 to 5 key metrics. Pick the top 3 to 5 metrics that you will use to measure the success of your business model. Avoid overwhelming yourself with too many metrics. Consider using outcome metrics over output metrics. Outcome metrics focus on how customers are using your product and their experiences, while output metrics measure the number of products or services produced. Remember to focus on customer-centric metrics rather than product-centric ones. This will help you understand the effectiveness of your business model from the perspective of your customers. Here are some examples of outcome metrics: number of new customers, monthly recurring revenue, customer lifetime value. Make leading indicator metrics a priority over trailing indicator metrics. While metrics like revenue and profit are important to track, they reflect past performance rather than providing real-time insights into the current state of your business. As Norm Brodsky and Bo Burlingham said in the NAC, find the key number that tells you how your business is doing in real time before you get the sales report. Examples of leading indicator metrics: number of qualified leads in your pipeline, number of trials or pilots, customer attrition rate. I also strongly suggest that you study analogs and identify which metrics other companies in your domain use to communicate progress to their stakeholders. For Lean School, I will be using AARRR metrics, also known as the Pirate metrics.
For this metric, we measure channel-wise conversions and CAC. My goal is to measure which channel is working best for my platform. Next, we have acquisition, where we measure key acquisition events like completed views on YouTube and CTR of links to Lean School's platform. Followed by activation that considers rate of signups, completion rate of free courses, count of support tickets raised. Then comes revenue, which is the count of customers that switch from free to paid courses. Next up is retention, which measures cohort retention rate, engagement time, and churn rate. Finally, we have referral, where we maintain the count of platform referrals by our existing customers from our referral strategy.
Let's move to the final block: unfair advantage. Identifying an unfair advantage for a business can be challenging, as many founders often claim advantages that are not truly unique. These include passion, lines of code, features, and so on. While many often flaunt a first mover advantage, it might even be disadvantageous. How, you ask? As the first company in a market, you may take on the risk of paving new ground, only to be potentially surpassed by other companies that enter the market later. In fact, many successful companies such as Ford, Toyota, Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Facebook were not the first movers in their respective markets, but were fast followers. Additionally, competitors can easily copy or imitate any valuable aspect of a business. Jason Cohen, the founder of WP Engine, offers a useful definition of unfair advantage in this context. A real unfair advantage is something that cannot be easily copied or bought. For instance, if a co founder were to steal a company's source code and set up a competing business, or if a larger company like Google or Apple were to launch a similar product to yours at a lower price, in such a scenario, your business should be able to withstand such challenges in order to succeed. Here are some examples of real unfair advantages that cannot be easily copied or bought. Insider information, endorsements from influential experts, a highly skilled and experienced team, personal authority in a particular field or industry, the network effects of a large customer base, the platform effects of a popular and widely used service, a strong and dedicated community of supporters, a large number of existing customers, a high SEO ranking for relevant keywords and phrases. It's completely alright if you don't have an unfair advantage when you first start your business. Don't be afraid to leave the unfair advantage block blank. If an unfair advantage story is not immediately apparent, it may be better to think about it later rather than fill with a weak one. Obscurity can work in your favor. At the nascent stage, obscurity allows you to build valuable things without attracting the attention of competitors. As your business grows, you can continue to search for a true unfair advantage. In fact, I haven't figured it out for Lean School, but I do have an unfair advantage story.
My unfair advantage will come from network effects. High impact learning on Lean School's workspace will drive referrals that boost my rate of acquisitions and conversions. The success stories of my customers will in turn drive credibility to the platform.
All right. We're finally done sketching our first lean canvas. Too many entrepreneurs carry their ideas in their heads. By documenting your plan A using the lean canvas, you've taken the first step to realizing your big idea. There's a key point to remember here. Your job isn't just building the best possible solution, it is owning the entire business model and making all the pieces fit. This brings us to the first mindset in continuous innovation framework. Your business model is the product. All right, guys, that's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with anyone who might benefit from it. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. We love hearing from you and are more than happy to help. Thank you for tuning into Lean School, where we combine video lectures with a workspace to help you learn and build a juggernaut startup. See you in the next one. Bye.